Look at this. We are 17 days away from the marathon. Memory made me breakfast again. Today is a very exciting day.
Right.
Oh, okay, get it. Cammy is wearing shorts. Which you said that they were a little tighter than you remember them?
Yeah, I was like, oh, eating a few too many scones lately, I think.
Hey, you're looking pretty good though.
Yep.
Doesn't leave as much to the imagination.
Lucky you.
And the second reason why today is an exciting day, hang on, I need to put this down, otherwise I can't get my shot. It is actually nice enough that we are gonna be sitting and having coffee on our porch, which is one of my favorite things to do. And in fact, when we did the Appalachian Trail, the main thing that I missed from back home was sitting on the porch drinking coffee.
Okay, bye.
And I get to do it. Where are you going? Okay, Filia's riding her bike to music lessons. Bye. People are gonna be like, wear a helmet. No. You wear a helmet.
I'm pretty excited that we can sit out here on this porch and not freeze our asses off. But how dare the sky decide to rain 5 drops on us? So we had to move everything to the left.
Look at this. We are 17 days away from the marathon. Leia, you ready to go for a run? This month we're talking about running a little bit more as we get ready for the marathon. And today I wanted to tell the story of how our family started running together at all. It was about, well, let's see, 2012. You can see because I signed the books when we read them. November of 2012, I bought this book called Born to Run. Highly recommend. Really good book. I put the link in our Amazon recommendations below. It was in the course of reading this book that talks about how humans were just like designed to run well, fast, and far, that I really started to think about running as a sport. And I had tried it like here and there, but I always hated running because it just seemed really miserable. What this book sparked me to do though, was it caused me to think back to a time in my childhood, probably around 3rd or 4th grade for me, when I used to run to school. And I used to run just because I liked it. And I used to race the bus and beat the bus consistently. It was about a mile, but I did it twice a day. And then around 5th, 6th, 7th grade, I started to do running for other reasons. I started to compete with the mile in PE. I started to keep track of time, and then as I got older, I started to more keep track of like calories or weight. And running became this kind of like miserable tool for me, and it really became competitive also because I started doing cross country in high school, and it was all about racing and winning and going faster and doing better. And around that time period was, I think, really when I started to hate running. So in the course of reading this book, man, I can't believe it was 7 years ago, I started to ask this question: is there a way for me to tap into that childhood running thing, where just like moving fast was fun for me as a kid? Can I do that as an adult? And that's what I started to look into. So we just started to run like for fun. It was me and 7 at first. I started running to work every day just as a way to get to work. Then we ran our first marathon and the kids saw us, the rest of the kids, and they were like, man, that looked really cool. Can we do it too? And we're like, sure, you can do it. A couple of years later, Cammie joined in, and she had hated running because she just did it for kind of like fitness and other reasons. So now, I don't say that I like it every time, but I'm glad that I do it and I enjoy it most of the time. Like I said, I would recommend this book, and as we go on our run today, I think we're gonna share a few tips, and I'm gonna ask the kids to share what we do as a family to run that makes it enjoyable for us, like from a practical perspective. Dude, this is so freaky. Look at the water down there.
Don't drop that, it'll fit through one of
I know. Oh. Yes. For some reason it said this bridge was closed. Jeez. So normally there's cars all over this. Oh, jeez. Look at that. Okay, for those of you that are wondering where we live and where we run, that right there is Kentucky. That's where we live. That right there is Ohio. And that's downtown Cincinnati. So usually we run across this bridge right here, which is called the Roebling Bridge, because it's named after John Roebling. And this is the bridge that the Brooklyn Bridge was modeled after. So I like to think that we're more relevant than New York City. But almost all runs, we go into Ohio or downtown Cincinnati, and these bridges make the run really cool. Man, this hurts to run on. Jeez, that's scary. Ouch. Do you have any tips for running that make running not as miserable for you?
Well, when it's really, really hot, I like to get my hair wet. That really, really helps me. I don't know. For running, I don't recommend bringing a dog. Maybe it's just Leia, but she kind of has a lot of energy. I think like picking like a spot that's pretty to run in and doing like a short run in it makes the run a lot more enjoyable.
Yes. John A. Roebling Bridge is closed until further notice. The closure is safety precaution after sandstone fragments broke from the east side of the bridge north tower yesterday. I know you're thinking, weren't you just here yesterday? For those of you that watched yesterday's vlog, yes, that was date night. This is a run. Two completely different things.
Some of the things I've learned that help me to run with a buddy or buddies. Running by yourself is hard. It's easy to talk yourself out of not running when you're only running by yourself. When I first started running, I definitely ran to lose weight and to look good. But I have found that that's not super sustainable of a reason to run. At least it wasn't for me. I think what has become more sustainable is to run just to be healthier, to exercise, to be healthier. A big thing too is don't run so fast that you can't talk. I think it makes it pretty miserable to run when you can barely breathe or talk. The other one I have found is start small. It'd be cool to have a goal in mind, like for example, I want to run 3 miles by the end of the month. But maybe you should start with 1 mile and work your way up. And before you know it, You're gonna be running marathons. I mean, maybe not, which is totally fine. Another good tip I know is sometimes run to fun destinations like bubble tea. But if you don't like bubble tea, then run to something you like.
Yes. Whoa. Alright, don't worry about it. Thank you. We just did 7 point something miles, and that took about 2 hours and 10 minutes, but partially that was because of the bubble tea line. I think the thing that helped me with running when I first got into it, compared to how I saw a lot of other people run, was I didn't take any phones or headphones. Even though I love listening to podcasts and I love music, I feel like that was kind of just like getting me in this mindset of like just getting through running instead of actually enjoying it and enjoy being out in the city and just the place and the people. And then the second thing was I didn't do any apps or keep track of mileage or GPS or time even. I just ran. I had to like just get out of this mindset that everything needed to be timed and faster and exact. It just didn't matter. If you run, you'll get better. You'll get faster. You'll get more healthy.
You are sweaty.
I am sweaty.
Thank you. That's all there is to it. And I think sometimes like keeping track of all that stuff kind of took me in this mindset of like focusing on the end goal instead of just trying to learn how to enjoy the process. So that's something we've worked hard at with our kids. It's just like, it doesn't matter how fast you are, it doesn't matter what place you come in. Let's just run.
Why are you upset?
The irony is, being able to complete marathons as a family, like, we've learned the distance will take care of itself. But I'm really thankful for running just as something to do as a family. It's one of the few sports I've found that we can all do together, except for Rainier so far. But maybe eventually he'll be able to join us.
Nice, oh my goodness, all dressed. I love the color.
Wow.
Dev, what are you making tonight for dinner?
Tortilla soup and bruschetta on baguettes.
Thank you.
That's like a Mexican-Italian thing. Got chicken, soup. The kids have really been enjoying this cookbook right here. I put the link to that on our little Amazon thingamajig that's in the description. It's under our favorite books. See, there's that book, and then there's the running book. So there you go with that running kind of advice thingy. I try not to push like any one activity too much. Like I definitely wouldn't say we're like runners or runner advocates, but it has been a really valuable thing for our family because it's really simple, and one of the things that we've noticed that creates togetherness is going through hard things together. And a lot of hard things are actually good for you, not all hard things, but this hard thing, it's not just hard, it actually, I think, makes our lives as individuals better. But I've noticed that instead of just like each doing our own individual like soccer or baseball, or I play racquetball, I mean, we do have separate things, but it's also nice to have some things we can do in common, and running's one of those things that like basically everyone can do. I don't know, I've got a lot of comments over the last years of people saying that they've like tried it, that they've like taken a few runs as a family and it like was a cool thing that they did with their kids. Like, even if it's hard, my guess is that you'll learn something about yourself and your child. Like, if you go with your child, like, I've had to learn to take it easy on the kids. Like, don't push them too hard, just like let them run when they want to run and walk. But kids even love running. All right, time for dinner.
How come the bread's not on?
Don't worry about the shadows.